Welcome back to our series here on YouTube, where we're on our path to finding the most perfect car. And today we're reviewing a 2009 Nissan R35 GTR. And we want to find out why this car is so hyped, and we want to determine if it's really true that you can get a supercar for sports car money. Now, this is my personal vehicle, but I will do my very best not to be biased, and I just want to say that I should be a pretty good candidate for not being biased because I am not a GTR fan. I always liked them, don't get me wrong, but the reason why I have this is because I got a good deal on it, not because I really wanted one. And now I've had this for 1 year-ish, so I should be pretty good with the features and my opinions on this. The GTR was introduced to the public in 2007 at Tokyo Motor Show, but the production didn't start until December that same year in Japan and 2008 worldwide. The last unit was produced in 2024, which gives this model an extremely long production span of 16 years, which they're very well known for. They did change and upgrade the car within the years, but the changes and upgrades were very minor. And if you're interested in knowing more about that stuff, we actually have a video where we compare this particular GTR to 2017 here on this channel, and I will link to it down below in the description. It would be very logical to assume that the one reason why you get a GTR is because of the looks. A lot of people give you compliments, they roll down their windows and give you thumbs up, they pull out their cameras and take pictures because it does look really nice. But the main reason why you get one is actually this. Under the hood, there is a 3.8 liter V6 twin turbo engine that produced 485 horsepower back in 2008 when it came out. Equipped with a DCT transmission and all-wheel drive, this car made 0 to 60 in about 3 seconds from the factory. And they also came with a launch control, which unfortunately was so brutal that it actually broke the cars. They broke transmissions, they broke drive shafts. It just couldn't keep up with all the power. This one in particular has got 700 horsepower, runs on both E85 and pump gas with a flex fuel sensor. It has downpipes, mid pipes, and is also equipped with a KW chassis. This is actually one of the faster cars I've driven that are actually street legal, and right now we're gonna take you guys for a spin. Before we go out, if you are saving up for a GTR or if you already own one, I suppose your budget is a little bit tight, and one of the best ways you can save $1 or $2 is to go with Buff Energy. It is a energy drink in powder form, comes with a scoop, you mix it with water, and it contains all the vitamins and healthy nutrition that you need. Use my personal discount code here, and you have the webpage up here and in the description down below. Did you know that the performance data display was co-designed by Gran Turismo developers? Now, this car is made to drive and drive only. Like, that's the sole purpose of the GTR. I've owned this car for a year now, and I want to be honest about the fact that I was not looking to buy one. I've never really been into them. I've always appreciated them, and I always liked them as a car, but I never saw myself owning one until I found this, which was a great deal. And I'm gonna be honest with you guys, like, after test driving it at first, I realized the GTR is kind of clunky. The transmission is pretty weird compared to a regular commute car. But then I kind of realized that this is like a full-blown race car from the factory, and it's freaking amazing. It's like sitting in a fighter jet. All those noises and all the performance, it's a really cool experience that I honestly haven't experienced in pretty much any other car. Like, if you would compare this to a Lambo, a Ferrari, a Porsche, it's not the same thing. I'm not saying it's better, I'm just saying it's different. It feels more mechanical by far. And when the GTRs came out, they set a really good lap time around the Nürburgring, and I really understand why. All the systems in this car, they're very advanced. You buy this to go out on a Saturday night and drive really freaking fast. Now, this car is fueled up with, holy hell, with pump gas and not E85, so it's not as fast as it can be, but it sure is really fast though. Make sure to not lose your license if you're buying one of these, or if you have one already, just be careful because this thing is really fast. It's sick. Like, this car is crazy. Performance-wise, I don't think it gets better than this for the type of money that you're paying. You can't beat this. You really can't. Up, guys, the interior of the GTR is nice, but it's not the fanciest out there. But keep in mind, they made this back in 2009. I wouldn't want to say it's ahead of its time, but it's pretty much in its time. But it still has a lot of features that are really convenient and up to date even until today's standard. I mean, you have a lot of parameters to monitor your driving and all the G-forces and how you brake and all that stuff. That is incredibly cool. Not pretty cool, it's incredibly cool. I like the air vents and how everything, it kind of feels like a little jet fighter in here. And I want to point out that when you want to adjust the steering wheel, you can adjust the wheel itself, and you can also move it up and down so the whole cluster moves with the steering wheel. I haven't seen in any other car. If you do know any other car that has that, drop that in the comments because I'm very curious. It's nice. It's not the nicest, but it does the job for sure. They updated the interior as they moved up in the years with the GTR. And also, by the way, before I forget, it does have a Bose sound system, which I didn't mention before. It doesn't sound all that nice, but it's okay for what it is. So with that in mind, I'm giving this 7 out of 10 points in interior. And moving on to the comfort. As I mentioned earlier, everything is facing the driver, which is really nice and very convenient. You have pretty much everything that you need, and you have heated seats, electric seats, power windows, power mirrors. So I'm not really looking for more, so to speak, in a sports car. As this one is on a KW chassis, this one gets stiff. I don't mind it for driving just out and about, but daily driving this, it gets pretty rough, honestly. Before I forget, the trunk space in these is amazing. I have fitted so much stuff in there, and it's very spacious. It's impressive, honestly. I did not expect that buying it or seeing one in person for the first time when they popped the trunk. I was actually really amazed. So that kind of bumps up the score, because with that in mind, I'm giving this 7 out of 10 points in comfort as well. So the exterior of the GTR is appreciated by many. I like it too. It looks really nice, and it does have that Gorilla stance, wide and low. I could honestly almost say that it kind of looks like a little bit like a supercar. With that in mind, I'm giving this 8 out of 10 points on the exterior part, and I'm gonna move on to performance. This thing going forward, straight forward, is a beast. This one on E85, 700 horse, with this transmission that shifts so freaking quick. I'm giving this 9 out of 10 points, because this, honestly, I haven't been beaten by any other car on the street. I haven't faced any 1,000+ Vipers or twin turbo Lambos. A lot of tuned M5s, a lot of Porsches, and they can't keep up with this. This thing is ridiculous. So performance wise, 9 out of 10. It could have more horsepower, but then you have to have a built engine and all that good stuff, which I don't. Handling. This must be one of the best handling cars I've ever driven. 6-pot calipers in the front, 4-pot calipers in the rear. Brakes are amazing. Handling, the chassis, suspension, everything, it just feels so freaking balanced. And it's very forgiving too, even though it is pretty aggressive, which is kind of weird. The all-wheel drive system feels like kind of like a safe bet if you're really pushing corners and you're not a professional race car driver. This will give you great track lap times, I swear, hands down. This is honestly, I don't think I can come up with any other car that's so easy to drive and drives this quick around corners. Handling, this is 10 out of 10 easily. The GTR is great. So the GTR is obviously pretty easy to tune, as it comes with a pretty big displacement from the factory, V6, 3.8 liter, twin turbo setup. So it is pretty easy to bump up the horsepower just by a little bit. And I would say that this, around 700 horsepower, this is pretty much a sweet spot before you have to build a fully forged engine and spend a whole lot of money. So with that in mind, I'm giving this 8 out of 10 points in tunability, because it's easy and there is information and there are parts out there, but it can get very pricey. And these are well known for breaking when you push high horsepower numbers. Moving on to support. There is a ton of information, once again, out there. Not every shop will work on a GTR. There is probably one in most countries that you can take your GTR to, but it's also gonna be a little bit pricey as they are specialists. So with that in mind, support, I'm giving this 8 out of 10 points too. Engine and exhaust sound, guys. I'm not a huge fan of the V6, but they sound pretty good, honestly. But I kind of want to toss in the sound of the drivetrain in this one and make a little exception, because it really sounds like you're driving a full-blown race car with a sequential gearbox, and it just gives you a crazy experience. And with that, combined with the engine and exhaust notes, I'm giving this 7 out of 10 points. But I want to move on to the miles per gallon. I am not biased when I say this, but this is actually one of the most fun cars I've ever driven. I did not expect this buying it or getting into the GTRs. Actually selling this, and I'm kind of regretting it as it is up for a sale right now, because I am pretty sure I'm not going to find anything close to as fun as this. With that in mind, 10 out of 10 points, hands down. If you haven't driven one, do it. If you haven't owned one, buy one. They're so much fun. Bang for the buck. Last topic. If you asked me 2 years ago, I would say that this had the market value of around $50,000. Today, they have gone up in price a lot, unfortunately. Which is unfortunate for us, not for me selling it, but for other people buying it. This one, I would say, is worth $70,000 now. If you would have asked me 2 years ago, 50 grand, I would have said probably 10 out of 10 in bang for the buck. But now, as they've gone up, I would want to say 8 out of 10, because $70,000 for a car from 2009 is a little bit on the pricier end. With that in mind, everything combined, this car gets 82 points out of 100, and I want to thank you guys for watching, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more videos, and I will see you in the next.